So we're here today. We're about to see Evil Dead Burn. I know. I don't know what we're expecting.
No, I
We
hope I don't get traumatized.
we did catch Ren up on. She saw Evil Dead Rise since then. It didn't really help with her looking forward to seeing this kind of movie.
They made me. My daughter made me watch the movie.
Movies.
He was like, "Oh, okay."
She had to prepare. Kind of don't know what to expect with this one. I'm hoping they kind of capture the vibe that the first one set out to. But I guess we'll see.
I hope I survive this. Well,
Yeah, so we'll be back soon. Welcome to the Siren Cut, and we just got back from watching Evil Dead Burn.
and the Deadites didn't get me. I survived.
Yes,
Woohoo.
just barely. So, in the interim of watching this movie, Ren had not seen the first one in this modern era of Evil Dead's or Evil Dead Rise. So, over the last couple of weeks, me and my daughter did get her to watch both, so she'll be kind of prepared for this new one. Yeah, and she did fairly well. I mean,
I'm actually kind of thankful that I did watch it because I am such a wuss when it comes down to horror movies, and in this way, it was what I expected basically.
especially these kind of
Maybe
movies.
and some.
Yeah.
In this
Definitely
and some.
more some. This was so going back to our expectations. I was hoping it would be at least capture the vibe of the first one. And in this context, when I say first one, I mean the modern,
2013.
the modern Evil Deads with Fede Alvarez did the first one. Lee Cronin did the second one. So with the first one, was my favorite of the three so far. I was just hoping it could kind of stand up to it because Evil Dead Rise was I wouldn't say disappointment. It's disappointing. I would say it just wasn't quite as good as the others, as the first one. I think the first one still holds up better.
I think so,
keeps its
too.
title against this one. It wasn't a bad movie. It's a very entertaining, very. It's the kind of horror movie that's very rewatchable because there's not a lot of story to get in the way of like paying attention while you're like kind of chilling out doing stuff and you just want to watch some action.
There's a weak story in there, but I'm not gonna.
Right, we won't go
We're
go
not gonna
into that.
spoil
I
this
mean,
for
the
you.
story definitely could have been better. But like a lot of horror movies, a lot of action movies, it was basically just enough to set up a bunch of gore. And this one,
Gore it
I think you
is.
mentioned it had probably more gore than the other ones.
Yes, it did.
And they don't flinch away.
Oh,
This movie did not flinch away.
no.
They kind of really took it to places that we heard people in the theater were like, "Yeah,
It made
it
you
made you
uncomfortable.
squirm, right.
It is uncomfortable for
Right.
some parts of it, and there's some humor in there too.
Yeah, there's definitely some funny parts. I mean, it's not Shaun of the Dead horror comedy necessarily, but the few laughs that it had were pretty well earned. I think they did a pretty good
Everyone
job.
laughed. It was
Right,
yeah,
right.
it was pretty good.
I think the only thing that bothered me, at least initially, is so this new director for this third one, I would say the first 20, 30 minutes of the film, he seemed very interested in trying to make a cool, look at all these camera angles kind of movie.
You would be the one to notice stuff
Right,
like that.
right. Yeah, I mean, it did because it was constant movement. It looked like, I mean, if you took away the sound, you could put some heavy metal music to it, and it would be a music video. You know, that's how constantly the camera was cutting. But it settled down and was fine. And even then, that's pretty much a nitpick. Really, what it comes down to it is if you like the modern era of Evil Dead movies, this won't change your mind one way or another. Amongst my friends, I'm known as pretty controversial just because I cannot stand the old Evil Dead movies. I am not a fan of Sam Raimi. I think he's cheesy and does really juvenile movies, which I guess when we were 14, it worked really well. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of those. But I do like the newer ones. Still try to keep a little bit of the humor, some humor, but not with going overboard, I think. Overall, I think it's definitely worth watching if you're really a glutton for punishment and all the gore. This is really up your alley. I mean, there's buckets of blood in this movie.
No more spoilers.
Yeah.
I promise.
Well, that's hardly a spoiler in a horror film. Oops, you might see some blood, right? You know, no, but yeah, but overall, definitely worth checking out. I don't know, what would you grade it?
As far as it's not my forte. This movie isn't my forte, but for me, I would say C plus. Because at least there was a story. I was entertained, and I survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I love horror movies, and I think I'm right there with you. About
Really?
a C plus. I was gonna go a little higher, but Evil Dead Rise was only slightly lesser.
I didn't
To
really
me?
care for Evil Dead Rise.
They missed a lot of points of the movie, I think, with that movie. But this one, it like I said, if you're into horror movies, it's something that I know with me and my daughter, we'll probably put it on while we're just hanging out or something and watch it probably multiple times just
I
because
won't.
it's just like an action film, you know, just so much going on. I do have to say, and I forgot, I should have looked it up before we did the recording here. Um, the guy who played the father, he kind of an asshole, right?
Yeah.
And he's the first one affected, I guess. He did a really good job in his role.
He did, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He looks like Bill Burr, the comedian, a bit. It's kind of what he reminded me of. He was actually really good in it. He kind of really captured his character, so, but yeah, I digress. So yeah, check it out. Let us know what you think, and believe me, you don't have to comment about my not liking the old Evil Deads. I already know I hear enough about it from my friends. But yeah, let us know. Like, subscribe if you want to see what's coming up next.
And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.